Good evening. This is the North Andover Board of Health. I'm Larry Fixler, Chairman. I'm calling the meeting to order tonight for Thursday, December 13th, 2018. Would you please stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. What we can do is approve the meeting minutes. They can't be signed tonight because Joe's not here, our clerk. But did everybody have a chance to take a look at the meeting minutes?
Yep, we put corrections in and they're all set.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
I second that motion.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's unanimous. Okay, that's done. There are no public hearings tonight. We're going to go over just a little of the department reports under Section 5. What's going on?
Everything's going on, getting ready for the holidays. So I just got back from vacation, but we've been basically maintaining all the status quo with all of the updating of permits, issuing permits for the new year, and getting everything ready for the January 1st. So Carolyn has her report in here as well. Michelle was out sick today, so she did not get a report to us, but I will get that from her next week.
That's fine, thank you. Caroline.
And for me, we wrapped up flu season, like we had the big family flu clinic October 30th and had, that was pretty much our last clinic, and just have been doing in-office vaccinations. We also are getting ready for Dr. Ruth Pody, who's coming in January 10th to the North Andover High School. So we have the North Andover Police Department coming and doing their hidden in plain sight display. We have the youth center with high school volunteers to do a child watch. And so we're just kind of gearing up for that, trying to get the word of mouth out, and waiting on shingles still. It's been back ordered and delayed twice now, and I think that's pretty much it. And doing some EDS plans, trying to update our current plan for emergency preparedness. So that's pretty much it.
Brian, what can you were away for so many days, but can you just give us a little brief synopsis of what's going on in town? Maybe just a little summary of where we stand with people and their heating, and how the town is as far as coming back.
The businesses are back. Restaurants are all reopened. China Walk was our last holdout, and that's because they were replacing some of their equipment, and they took a little bit longer than everybody else. As they wanted to get that done, they did do a thorough revamping of the interior in the back of the house. They did reopen. That was our last holdout and our last restaurant. All of the residences that were out of gas now have gas turned back on, except for the ones that were severely damaged. So I think they're at 99% back up and running at this point.
Okay, well, that's good. Caroline, I read about Dr. Pody. I think it's going to be a wonderful lecture, a wonderful discussion.
We had seen her in the spring at the technical school in Lawrence, and she's just a phenomenal speaker. She just has a wonderful way of kind of getting the information out there and kind of grabbing everyone's attention. So we were excited to have her come to North Andover. So
Hopefully it's a good turnout.
Yeah, and hidden in plain sight is phenomenal.
I haven't.
If anybody has never done
excited
that
to see
before,
that, too.
I suggest any parent go to it, no matter how old your children are.
I've talked to some people that have kids in school, and Frank's mentioned it before, how vaping is overpowering the school, and it's still happening. It's not going. I don't see anything changing. I hear the commercials. They make the commercials make it seem like that they're doing the public a favor by not having to inhale the smoke and having an alternative method, but it's actually worse.
It's
What they're doing.
addicting teenagers
Yeah.
onto nicotine, so that's the problem. But I know the Surgeon General has been working with Jewel on doing a campaign to get it out of the hands of teens, or work with them on getting rid of the flavors. There's a whole bunch of different things going on in that area. So that's definitely good steps.
Okay. So we'll take it in order. I think that's fair. Under 6, new business, 2019 calendar.
So these are the dates where our meetings would fall for the 2019 calendar. I think towards the end of the year, the November 21st and December 19th dates have been booked here. The holidays kind of mess up with the fourth Thursday, obviously with Thanksgiving. So those are the dates that we have. If you guys are okay with those, we'll keep them. If not, we can look for new dates.
I'm good.
I think those dates work, so why don't we keep them?
Okay.
Do we need to approve them formally?
Do we need to
You could vote on it.
vote on it?
Sure.
Okay.
Move the calendar as presented.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
That's unanimous. Okay. Now, for all of you that see the word election on there, I've moved out of town, so I'll be giving up my chairmanship. So what we're going to, and I'll talk about that afterwards from a personal point of view. But what we're going to do is vote for a new chairman for the Board of Health in North Andover. And I would like to myself personally nominate Dr. Frank McMillan to take over my seat.
Second, that nomination.
Can I nominate as chairman?
I think Michelle would have to nominate.
Okay.
So I can hint at a nomination.
So, start over.
Yes. Yes.
I would like to nominate Dr. Frank McMillan as the new chairman of the Board of Health for North Andover.
I will second it, since I'm not the chairman.
Right, there's nobody here. Is there discussion? Any discussion?
I'm happy to do it. We also have to elect a clerk, too.
Yes. Okay. All those in favor for Dr. Frank McMillan as the new chairman of the North Andover Board of Health, say aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous. Dr. McMillan,
Thank you.
congratulations.
Congratulations.
In January.
In January.
In January. I would like to nominate Joseph McCarthy for another year at Clerk of the Board of Health.
Second.
Do we know that he's
I was
willing?
going to say,
Do we know that he's willing to do it? Okay,
Very good.
all right.
I second that.
Second it?
Yes.
Any discussion? All those in favor of the vote for Joe McCarthy as clerk, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's unanimous. Joe is going to continue being our clerk to our chairman, Dr. McMillan.
That's great.
It's very good. Roster and contact info sheet.
Just take a quick look at this. If there's any corrections, let us know, but this is what we have for our department as our roster.
Mine's correct.
Marion, changes?
Mine's correct. Look good, Frank?
Looks good.
Okay.
Okay. That is it for new business.
Okay, so under communications, announcements, and discussions, I'm going to do some talking. First, I just want to say what an honor it's been to have been part and continue to be part of the Board of Health in North Andover through this month. I believe I'm on my 15th year, I believe. It's been so long. And I always wanted to be on the Board of Health. I'm not sure why, and this is 20 years ago. I always wanted to be on the Board of Health, and I thought it would be the biggest honor to be part of it, whether chairman or member. But to be associated with a department, maybe because I'm a pharmacist, but to be associated with a department that would promote good health. Not that other departments don't, but I always attributed the Board of Health as being the key department in town to doing that. So it's always been my goal to be a member of the Board of Health. And from when I lived in Burlington, and certainly when I got here, I applied immediately, but Tom also applied, and they needed they needed a physician, and so Tom got in about a year before me, I think, and it was a 3-member board. And when I got called in for the interview and I was accepted as a board member, it was the greatest honor and joy, it really was, that I could have experienced. My wife's in the audience, she'll vouch for it. And I've done it. You give up a good amount of your time. It's not just the last Thursday of every month and it's 12 meetings a year. You make of the position what you want. You get involved as much as you want. And I tried to get involved a lot, maybe too much sometimes, through when we had Susan here and, of course, now Brian. But I always felt it was very important to get involved and to know what was going on in town and in the businesses and residences and the general health and well-being of town. So I would always call as much as I could, right, Brian?
Yes.
To make sure that I was on top of what was happening in town. And I've pretty much done that. Didn't do it the first few years. I think I was more nervous and scared than anything, but I did it, I'd say, probably for about 13 years, try to be as aggressive as I could to be involved in what was going on in town and in promoting the town and its residents' well-being. And I always did that, and I always just loved doing it. I considered this fun, not a chore, nothing, just pure fun to be a part of the health department and the Board of Health and part of town, of course. And so, Brian, I see that you headed under communications announcement, farewell Larry Fixler. Is there a casket here? It's au revoir.
Bon voyage.
That's right. It's not
Happy trails.
happy trails, you know? But, so I'll keep it shorter. But, throughout the years, it's the time goes by, and my enjoyment has never waned. I've met new people. We've had new board members come and go, but it's been a lot of fun. It's been a learning experience, remarkable learning experience, really. I knew very little as far as septic, some of the health-related issues. I've learned a lot from various board members and from just my own learning being on the Board of Health. And I found it really a lot of fun. So I turn it over to my good friend, Dr. Frank McMillan. And Frank will do a wonderful job. He's a remarkable caring person. I've known Frank for over 10 years, personally and on the board. And Frank has the energy and enthusiasm, a remarkable amount of energy and enthusiasm to continue and to further lead the town and the health department in public health and good health. So I want to congratulate again Frank for his new chairmanship to the Board of Health. I think Frank follows from previously. There was a Dr. McMillan Sr., Frank's dad, who I also know, and a lot of us do know, was on as chairman of the Board of Health. And now Frank will follow in the McMillan name and take over as the other McMillan Jr. chairman of the Board of Health. So I think it's wonderful. So I just want to thank Frank, and I also want to thank my friends on the board who I sit with, friends on the health department who I sit with too, Tony, Caroline, Brian, Frank, Joe's not here, Michelle, Daphne, Michelle Grant, and it's been an honor to work with them closely and know them for such a long time. It's been fun. It has been fun. And it's wonderful to meet new people and to, you know, you have these memories forever. So it's been a lot of fun. So for this part, that's all I have to say as to my good au revoir. Adieu.
Larry, may I make a point?
Yeah, sure.
Well, first of all, I have to say that Larry has been the backbone of this board for a long time. When I say the backbone, Larry's got a stiff one and he doesn't bend. He's really, he's 100% prepared to every meeting. He always reads the background material, not only just superficially, but in detail. I mean, he is on top of every issue that's ever come before this board. He's done the tough things that need to be done for the town, because we're serving the town, we're not serving ourselves. And I have to say, you've just had a fantastic example for anybody who follows you on how to do this job well. And I can't say enough, it's been a pleasure to work with you, and job well done. Yeoman's work. Thank you.
Thanks, Frank. Appreciate it, buddy. Thank you very much.
And same thing in the health department. Working with you for the past almost 3 years has been phenomenal. You've been a phenomenal chairman, a great member, and literally the backbone of the board. It's been a great experience working with you and getting to know you and seeing your enthusiasm and your insight into all the issues that we deal with. Septic, mosquitoes, communicable disease, drugs, addiction, I mean, everything. You've just been on point, on par, and it's been a breath of fresh air working with you. Definitely sad and sorry to see you go. We will definitely miss you, and I know the town will miss you.
Thank you. Thanks very much. And I appreciate it. It's hard to top what you just said about your compliments towards me. Back at you. Back at you. About the same.
Thank you.
Back at you. I do want to. Oh, is this part of the farewell?
You can go past that now.
I do want to talk about just a couple things. One of them is from, it's called Medscape, MEDSCAPE. So it's really a medical information bureau, medical information website. When we talk about addiction, we always talk about oxycodone, hydrocodone, fentanyl, heroin, on and on. All the synthetic and natural type opioids. But there's another addiction out there, besides psychological addictions and so forth, that we haven't really talked about at all, and I'm going to keep it brief, is the addiction with amphetamine sulfate, crystal methamphetamine, and so forth. Now, when I was a practicing pharmacist, we used to dispense amphetamines. Now, in the olden days, people would use it partially for diet. Yes, they did. You could lose weight with it. That and thyroid and a couple other drugs. They used various forms of amphetamine and amphetamine sulfate for certain types of focusing disorders, adult attention, adult AD, adult. Thanks a lot. Yeah, I had to think about that for a second. That, narcolepsy, and so forth. Other types of states too, but a lot of people are as addicted to amphetamines as they are to opioids. So I wanted to get that out there. This is way too long, so I'm going to keep it extremely short. Just a couple highlights and some points that I made. After alcohol, opioids, and marijuana use, amphetamine now is the fourth most common reason to seek drug treatment in the United States, where amphetamine availability and psychostimulant deaths appear to be increasing. So more and more people are using amphetamines among the other or opioids at the same time. Believe it or not, they do. to get high or to do whatever they're doing with it. Amphetamine-related hospitalizations more than tripled from 2003 to 2015, and the related hospital costs rose fivefold. New research shows. Amphetamine-related hospital costs jumped from $436 million in 2003 to $2.17 billion in 2015. And these are verifiable amphetamine-related hospital admissions, not just opioids. Serious problematic amphetamine use may be an emerging public health problem in the United States. Among amphetamine-related hospitalizations, substance use and mental health disorders accounted for 9 of the top 15 primary diagnoses. That's a lot, considering all the various illnesses and disease states you can go into a hospital for. That's a huge amount. I'm going to cut this real short. Yes, I'm turning the page. Okay, 1/4 of all of amphetamine-related hospitalizations were associated with alcohol or cannabis use, and 1/5 associated with opioid use. So there's a lot of combination type drugs people use. Amphetamine-related hospitalizations appear to be primarily associated with methamphetamine. You can call it crystal meth, but methamphetamine is the purest form of amphetamine. Amphetamine use and hospitalization appears to be an emerging public health issue with the highest frequency in the western United States and the predominant payer being Medicaid. So it's costing taxpayers quite a bit of money for this type of abuse. Pharmacologic and non-pharmacologic therapies for amphetamine use disorders, like opioid use disorders, and a coordinated public health response are needed to stem a dramatic increase in amphetamine-related hospitalizations and costs. This is especially important because currently no pharmacologic options treat amphetamine use disorder. The only treatments currently available for amphetamine use disorder are behavioral type therapies, similar to opioid type therapies, particularly contingency management, but their efficacy is seldom sustained. The public health approach proposed to combat the opioid epidemic may also apply to the amphetamine epidemic. So this is a big deal, amphetamine use out there, so I wanted to bring that point up to kind of tie them together, that it's not just opioids, it's amphetamines along with that. And one more thing I want to talk about, last time I can talk, so I'm going to get it all out now, is it's not a public health issue. I'm done with the drug aspect and the medical aspect of talking. I want to talk about the idea of civic health, what we do here. I've been volunteering for almost 15 years. Why I do it, I just find it, and again, I'm not going to repeat myself, but I do it because I wanted to be part of something. I wanted to be part of the community. I wanted to give something of myself rather than watch television all the time, although I still do. But I wanted to get involved in some way to do some good. And so anybody watching out there, and for the large audience that we have out there today, I can't stress enough the civic health aspect of what we do, and other departments do, conservation, planning, finance. These are all volunteer type departments for the town, and they do a phenomenal job. They give of themselves as we give of ourselves to the town and the residents of town, and trying to improve our living conditions and trying to make our town better. I mean, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. So I wanted to stress that what we do and the time we put in volunteering is we do out of the desire and the kindness of our heart to better where we live. That's what I do. And I wanted to encourage people. You look at the selectmen, we have a wonderful group of selectmen and selectwomen, We have a superb town manager, Andy Mailer. Andy does a great job. And we have a lot of other excellent people that help run the town. Just look at our health department. I find it outstanding. I really do. I've told you that before, and I've told the selectmen in front of them too. I find it outstanding the work you do. But I do encourage people out there, if you're watching, to think about volunteering and being part of town, and think about the aspect of helping people. It feels good. It's fun, and they feel good when you put out to help them. So that's what I wanted to talk about. Civic health. Get out there and help people.
Well said.
That's my talk on civic health.
All right.
That's all I got.
Of course, the town's always looking for volunteers to step up.
Yeah.
I'm going to paraphrase Joyce Bradshaw, who's our town clerk. She has a great quote, I just can't remember it exactly, but one of the reasons that we have such a great quality of life in this town is because there is a real spirit of volunteerism, and people do step up and they do the jobs. This wouldn't be nearly as nice of a place to live if people hadn't had that sense of duty to step forward and do stuff. So,
Well put. Well put. Thank you.
and it's not just the volunteer board, it's the people who stand for elections, too. The town's self-governed, and it's governed by good people who care. Might disagree with certain things that they feel at time to time, but never disagree with their spirit of giving.
Does anybody have anything else they'd like to add under correspondence, announcements, discussions, newsletters, and teletype?
I move a standing ovation for our outgoing chair.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Well, with that said, Michelle, do you have anything else you'd like to?
Motion to adjourn?
That's not debatable.
That's fine.
It's only a yes or no vote. It does require a second.
We have a motion to adjourn once. We have a motion to adjourn
Seconded.
seconded. I don't think there's any real discussion. I think we've done it all. I accept the motion to adjourn. I want to thank everybody.
Nicely done.
Thank you, Larry.